I never thought the man I loved for 23 years would rip my heart out and hand the knife straight to our own son. But the worst part? It felt like my abusive father had climbed out of his grave just to make sure the nightmare repeated itself perfectly, like some cruel curse I could never escape no matter how hard I tried to outrun it. Picture this. Rainy Tuesday night. I'm standing in our warm kitchen, the one Michael and I spent 3 weekends painting together with our bare hands, laughing and splashing each other with paint like teenagers in love. Flour on my cheek, his arms around me from behind, kissing my neck while the radio played our old song. I'm chopping vegetables for the roast chicken he always said tasted like home, the recipe passed down from his grandmother that I perfected over the years, just to see that smile on his face. My phone buzzes on the marble counter. One simple bank alert. $850 charged at the Grand Palace Hotel. My stomach drops so fast I feel dizzy. We hadn't planned any trip. No anniversary getaway. No surprise weekend. Nothing at all. I call the bank immediately, my fingers shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone twice. Please, can you tell me who booked that room? The woman on the line sounds calm, professional, completely unaware she's about to destroy my world. It's listed under Mr. and Mrs. Michael Bennett, ma'am. Checked in this afternoon, room 1407. They're still there right now. Mr. and Mrs. Michael Bennett. That's my name. My marriage of 23 years. My entire identity that I built brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice. But I'm standing here alone in old sweatpants with pasta sauce on my shirt while some other woman is living my life in a luxury hotel across town. And just like that, I'm 8 years old again, curled up under the kitchen table in our old cramped house that always smelled like cigarette smoke, stale beer, and my mother's quiet tears. My heart is pounding so loud I'm sure my father can hear it from the hallway. His heavy boots stop inches from my hiding spot. His voice is ice cold and slurred from drinking. Laura, if your mother asks where I was tonight, you say Daddy was working late at the office. You smile when you say it. Make it convincing. If you mess this up even a little, I'll make you wish you were never born. I nodded every single time, silent tears falling onto the dirty floor, because I knew exactly what the punishment looked like. The yelling that shook the walls until the neighbors called the police twice. The way he'd grabbed my thin arm so hard it left purple fingerprints I had to hide under long sleeves at school the next day. The nights he screamed at my mother for hours. You're worthless. You're ugly. You're lucky I even come home to you and that brat. Then he'd storm into my tiny bedroom, breath reeking of whiskey and some other woman's cheap perfume, grab my face hard enough to bruise my jaw, and hiss right into my ear, "One word about this, Laura, and I'll tell everyone you're the lying troublemaker destroying this family. Keep your mouth shut, or I'll send you away to a place where nobody wants a snitch like you. You want to end up in foster care? Because that's what happens to bad little girls who talk." That memory hits me like a freight train while I'm still holding the phone. I remember the time I was 9 and almost told my mother the truth. My father caught me whispering to her in the hallway. He dragged me into the bathroom, locked the door, and slapped me across the face so hard my lip split open. Blood in my mouth. "You think you're better than me, Laura? You think you can ruin my life? This family stays together because of me. You keep lying or I'll make sure your mother hates you forever." I carried that guilt for years. I believed I was the reason my mother cried herself to sleep every night. I believed I was the reason our family was broken. That little girl inside me never really grew up. She just learned to stay quiet, to smile, to pretend everything was fine so the yelling would stop, so the hitting would stop, so maybe, just maybe, Daddy would love me. I hang up without another word. I grab my car keys, The rain is hammering the windshield like it's trying to wash away 23 years of carefully built lies as I drive across town. Every red light feels like pure torture. I keep seeing flashes of our beautiful life together. Michael on our wedding day, looking so handsome in his tux, whispering, "You're my forever, Laura." No one else will ever have my heart with tears in his eyes. Tyler's birth in that crowded hospital room, Michael cutting the cord with trembling hands and sobbing with pure joy beside me as he held our tiny baby. The family vacations at the lake house where we built sandcastles and roasted marshmallows. The birthday parties I planned for months, staying up until 2 a.m., making homemade cakes. How did the man who once protected me with his life become the monster repeating my childhood trauma? How did I let myself fall for the same kind of man my father was? Was I so desperate to feel safe that I ignored all the warning signs? I pull into the Grand Palace parking lot, my hands white-knuckled on the steering wheel. There it is, Michael's black SUV, parked proudly right under the bright entrance lights, like he has nothing in the world to hide. My chest squeezes so tight I can barely breathe. Then I see them through the tall glass lobby windows. Michael, my husband of 23 years, laughing that deep, warm laugh that used to make me feel completely safe and loved. His arm wrapped tightly around a young woman who looks barely 25. Tight black dress hugging every curve, long auburn hair falling perfectly down her back, flawless makeup. She's gazing up at him like he hung the moon and stars just for her. And he's looking back at her exactly the way he looked at me on our honeymoon in Hawaii, like I was the only woman who ever mattered in his universe. Tears blur my vision completely, but the real knife twists even deeper when my phone rings. Tyler, our 20-year-old son. The boy I carried for 9 long months of severe morning sickness that left me hospitalized twice. The boy I rocked through endless nights of colic when he wouldn't stop crying no matter what I did. The boy I drove to every single soccer game, every school event, every nightmare at 3 a.m., sitting on the edge of his bed until he fell back asleep. I answer the call, my voice cracking like thin ice. "Tyler, where is your father right now?" He doesn't even hesitate for a second. "Big work dinner, Mom. Important client. He said it'll run really late. You sound weird. Are you okay?" Through the glass, I watch Michael lean down and kiss that girl's forehead so tenderly, so lovingly. It makes me want to vomit on the spot. My entire world shatters into a million pieces. Tyler, he is not at any dinner. There's a heavy silence on the line. Then my own son chuckles softly, like this is all some joke. "Mom, come on. Relax. You're being paranoid again. Dad's probably just stuck in traffic or finishing up the meeting. Go watch your show or something. I'll text him for you right now." Click. He hangs up on me. In that freezing, rain-soaked moment inside my car, I realize the betrayal runs far deeper than I ever imagined. My husband is using my own name to cheat on me, and my own flesh and blood son is actively helping him do it. Just like I helped my father when I was too scared to do anything else. I sit there in the driver's seat sobbing so violently my whole body shakes. How many times had Tyler lied for him over the past months? How many nights did the two of them sit together laughing at stupid, trusting, blind Mom? The pain feels exactly like being 8 years old again, lying awake listening through thin walls while my father screamed at my mother for hours, calling her worthless, lazy, unattractive, and useless. Then he'd come into my room and threaten me until I promised to lie again the next time. I remember the night my mother found lipstick on his collar. She looked at me with such broken hope in her eyes and asked, "Laura, baby, was Daddy really at work?" I lied. I smiled and said yes, and my father rewarded me with $20 and a pat on the head while my mother cried in the bathroom. That guilt has lived in my bones for 30 years. It shaped me. It made me stay in a marriage that started showing cracks years ago because I was terrified of breaking my own family the way my father said I would. But this time, something else rises through the suffocating sadness and shock. A cold, burning, unbreakable rage that feels like it's been waiting inside me for 30 years. Because I am not that scared little 8-year-old girl anymore. And I absolutely refuse to become my mother, who stayed silent through years of emotional and verbal abuse until it finally destroyed her spirit and took her from me at only 56. I wiped my tears roughly, marched straight into that fancy hotel lobby soaked to the bone and furious. The front desk clerk looks up with a polite smile. "Good evening, Mrs. Bennett. Is everything all right with your room tonight?" My name again, on his lips, for a room I never booked. I forced the words out through clenched teeth. I had some trouble with my key. "Room 1407? He hands me a fresh card without asking a single question. The elevator ride up to the 14th floor feels like descending straight into my own personal hell. My reflection in the shiny doors shows a devastated, rain-soaked woman, but I also see that terrified little girl staring back at me, begging me with her eyes to finally speak up and protect her the way no one ever protected me. I reach the door of room 1407. I can hear them clearly inside. Michael's voice, low and intimate in that way that used to be reserved only for me. "God, Ava, you make me feel so alive again. Laura has become so predictable, so boring after all these years. You're my fire, baby. You're everything. She stopped being." Ava giggles like a carefree schoolgirl. Does she suspect anything at all? Michael laughs that familiar laugh. Tyler's got her completely fooled. The kid earned that new sports car I promised him. This is our night. No more hiding, no more sneaking around. I press my hand to the cold wooden door, feeling my heart physically break into 1,000 sharp pieces. 23 years of marriage, love, sacrifices, and memories reduced to the word predictable. Our son sold out for a fancy car, just like my father used to slip me a $20 bill after forcing me to lie for him. Our little secret, princess. Keep being daddy's good girl or daddy gets very, very angry with you. I want to kick the door down right then. I want to scream until my throat bleeds and the whole hotel hears me. But I step back slowly. Not yet. The pain from my childhood abuse is now the purest fuel I've ever known. I will make them feel every single tear I cried as a little girl who was never protected. I drive home through the pouring storm. The house feels cold, empty, and haunted. Tyler is sprawled comfortably on the living room couch playing video games, laughing loudly like our entire family isn't burning to the ground. I stand there in the doorway for a long moment, just staring at the boy I sacrificed everything for. "Tyler, where is your father right now?" He barely glances up from the screen. "Work dinner, Mom. Told you already." I slam the hotel key card down hard on the coffee table. "This is the key to room 1407, where your father is right now with a girl half his age, using my name, my credit card, my entire identity and life. And you helped him do it." His face turns ghost white. For one split second, I see my little boy who used to fall asleep on my chest every night. Then the excuses start pouring out fast. "Mom, Dad said it was just stress relief. Nothing serious at all. He promised if I booked the room under your name and covered for him a few times, he'd buy me the car I need for my startup. You were never supposed to find out. He's my dad. What was I supposed to do?" Tears stream down my face as I finally whisper the ugly truth I've buried for 30 years. When I was 8, My father made me lie exactly like this. Every single time he cheated on my mother, he'd pin me against the wall after she went to bed and hiss threats right in my face. If you breathe one word about this, I'll tell everyone you're the reason Mommy is so miserable and crazy. You want to destroy this family, Laura? Keep your mouth shut, or I'll make sure you regret it every single day of your miserable life. He grabbed me so hard I had bruises for weeks. He slapped me when I almost told the truth. He screamed at me until I believed I was worthless and bad, and the reason our family was falling apart. I carried that terror and guilt for years. I swore on my life I would never put my own child through that same nightmare. And here you are, doing exactly what I was forced to do as a frightened little girl. My voice completely breaks into ugly, uncontrollable sobs. I carried you for 9 months. I gave up my promising art career for you. I chose you over sleep, over friends, over every single dream I ever had. I loved you more than life itself. Get out of my house tonight. Don't come back until you truly understand the depth of the betrayal and pain you've caused me. He tries begging through tears of his own. Mom, please, it's not that bad. We can fix this. I point at the door with a shaking hand, crying so hard I can barely see. Out. Now. The slam of the front door echoes through the empty house like a final gunshot. I collapse onto the couch where we used to have family movie nights, cuddling under blankets, and I cry for hours on end. For the marriage I poured my soul into. For the son I lost. For the little girl who was never protected from her own father's physical and emotional abuse. Morning comes gray and heavy. I feel completely hollowed out, but the fire inside me burns hotter and clearer than ever before. I call my best friend Megan, a ruthless and brilliant divorce lawyer who has seen it all. I tell her everything in detail, including the childhood physical and emotional abuse I've hidden from almost everyone for decades. She listens quietly, then says softly but firmly, Laura, your father trained you from childhood to accept betrayal and abuse as normal love. We are ending that toxic cycle right here, right now. We're going to destroy them completely and legally. I hire the best private investigator money can buy. For the next 3 long, painful weeks, I play the perfect, heartbroken wife every single day. Michael comes home the next morning smelling of her perfume, kisses my cheek casually like nothing happened. Missed you, babe. Crazy busy week at work, you know how it is. I smile through the knife twisting in my heart while the investigator gathers more evidence every day. I cook dinner. I ask about his day. I pretend I don't notice the new watch on his wrist or the way he checks his phone when he thinks I'm not looking. The evidence that comes back is absolutely devastating. Clear photos of them in 3 different hotels. Videos of them kissing passionately in parking lots and restaurant corners. Bank records showing over $52,000 secretly transferred to accounts I never knew existed. And the text messages between Michael and Tyler that finally break me all over again. Tyler writing, Mom bought the work dinner lie again, hook, line, and sinker. She's so clueless it's almost funny. Car keys by next Friday, right? Michael replying, that's my boy. Laura doesn't deserve either of us anyway. She's been holding me back for years. Reading those cold words in Megan's office, I break down with deep, guttural sobs that shake my whole body for almost 20 minutes. The 2 men I loved most in this world saw me as completely disposable, just like my father did to my mother, while he abused us both emotionally and physically for years. We plan the final confrontation meticulously. Friday night, Michael texts casually, big client dinner at the Grand Palace again tonight. Don't wait up, love. See you in the morning. I know exactly who the client is. I dress carefully in the elegant black dress he bought me for our 20th anniversary. Hair and makeup flawless. I walk into that hotel like a queen who has finally found her voice after decades of silence. The clerk beams at me. Mrs. Bennet. Back again? Room 1407? I take the key with steady hands. The elevator ride feels eternal. My heart pounds, but my mind is crystal clear. I slide the key into the lock. The door clicks open. There they are. Michael is shirtless, pants unbuttoned. Ava is in nothing but lace lingerie, her long auburn hair messy from his hands. A bottle of expensive champagne sits open on the nightstand, 2 glasses half full. Soft music plays from the TV. The scent of her perfume and his cologne hits me like a slap. They both freeze mid-laugh. Ava's eyes go wide with pure panic. Michael spins around so fast he nearly trips over the bedsheet. "Laura, what the hell are you doing here?" His voice cracks, all the confidence gone in an instant. His face drains of color as he sees me standing there in the black dress he once called me beautiful in. I step fully inside the room, letting the door click shut behind me. My voice comes out low, steady, but trembling with 30 years of buried pain. I came to end this, once and for all. Ava scrambles for the sheet, pulling it up to cover herself. Who is she? Michael, what is happening? Her voice is high-pitched, scared. I look straight at her. I'm his wife. The one whose name he used to book this room. The one whose life he's been destroying while he played house with you. I turn back to Michael and pull the thick envelope from my purse. Divorce papers. You've been officially served. Right here, right now. In the same bed where you used my name to cheat on me. Michael's hands shake as he takes the papers. Laura, please. This isn't what it looks like. I made a terrible mistake. Ava means nothing. It was just stress, work pressure. I love you. Think of our family. Think of Tyler. Think of everything we built together for 23 years. His voice breaks. Tears actually form in his eyes. For a second, I see the man I married, the one who held me during my mother's funeral, the one who promised forever. But I remember everything. You used my name, I say slowly, each word dripping with pain. You checked into hotels as Mr. and Mrs. Michael Bennet while I sat at home cooking your favorite meals and wondering why you stopped looking at me. You turned our son into a liar. You taught Tyler to cover for you the same way my father taught me to lie when I was 8 years old. My father pinned me against the wall and slapped me when I almost told the truth. He screamed that I was destroying the family. He made me believe I was worthless if I didn't keep his secrets. And you did the exact same thing to me and to our son. Michael steps closer, still half naked, desperation pouring out. Laura, your father was a monster. I'm not him. I would never hurt you like that. You already did, I snap, my voice rising with all the pain I've carried since childhood. You grabbed my heart and squeezed it the same way he grabbed my arm and left bruises. You made me feel worthless, just like he did to my mother every night he came home smelling of another woman. You screamed at me in silence for months by choosing her, and you dragged our son into it. Tyler wrote that I was clueless. You replied that I don't deserve either of us. I read every word, just like I read the fear in my own eyes every time my father threatened to send me away if I ever spoke the truth. Ava starts crying softly in the corner. Michael, you said you were separated. You said she didn't care anymore. I look at her with something close to pity, mixed with steel. He promised you forever too, didn't he? He whispered the same sweet words he once said to me. Welcome to the nightmare I grew up watching, the one where the man you love destroys you slowly while you smile for the children. I hope the champagne was worth it. Michael reaches for my arm. Laura, I'm begging you, don't do this. We can go to counseling. I'll end it right now. Ava, Get your things and leave. This was a mistake. Laura, please. I'm on my knees if that's what you want. He actually starts lowering himself. I rip my arm away. Begging? Where was your begging when you chose her over 23 years of marriage? Where was it when you taught Tyler to betray his own mother the same way my father taught me through fear, pain, and threats? Feel this emptiness in your chest right now, Michael. This cold, sick feeling in your stomach. This is exactly what you gave me for months. What my father gave us for years. And I am finally breaking the cycle. For me, for that little 8-year-old girl who never got to speak, for every woman who stayed silent too long. Tears are running down my own face now, but my voice stays strong. Your company board gets the full file Monday morning. Photos, videos, bank records, texts. Tyler is cut off completely. No car, no tuition, no inheritance. You both chose her. Now live with the consequences. Michael's shoulders slump. Laura, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I look at him one last time. Sorry isn't enough when the betrayal echoes the worst trauma of my childhood. Goodbye, Michael. I turn and walk out. The door shuts behind me with a heavy, final click that sounds like freedom. The following weeks are absolute hell mixed with unexpected rays of freedom and healing. Michael loses his senior executive position after the company board reviews all the evidence. Ava disappears from his life completely. Tyler shows up one stormy night, soaked to the bone and broken. Mom, I'm so sorry. Dad manipulated me. I was weak and stupid. I love you. Please forgive me. I'll do anything. I look at my son, my heart still aching deeply, but I stand firm with new strength. I loved you more than life itself. You helped destroy me the same way I was destroyed as a terrified child. I'm not repeating my mother's silence and suffering. The cycle of abuse, lies, and betrayal ends with me today. Live with your choice and learn from it. I kept the house. I kept my dignity and my future. I started painting again, the deep passion I abandoned long ago to be the perfect wife and mother. I travel to places I only dreamed about. I laugh freely from my soul. I sleep peacefully for the first time in years without the heavy weight of lies. And every single morning when I look in the mirror, I see a true survivor who finally protected that little 8-year-old girl who was never allowed to tell the truth. Betrayal cuts deepest when it echoes the childhood abuse you barely survived. But rising above it, healing your inner child, and choosing yourself unapologetically, that is the sweetest, most powerful revenge of all. That is true freedom and peace. If this long emotional story tore your heart open and stitched it back stronger than before, smash that like button right now. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join this growing family of survivors, because these deep betrayal and revenge stories are only getting longer, more detailed, and more intense with every video. Comment below with your honest truth. Could you ever forgive a son who helped your husband betray you the same way your own father trained you to accept abuse and lies? Have you ever broken a toxic family cycle of manipulation and pain? Share your personal story if you feel safe. I read every single comment. Your words heal me too. This is Laura, stronger, free, finally healed. See you in the next one, where the pain cuts even deeper and the comeback hits even harder.